Okay, so today we are going to do a presentation on the Task Manager for Sage CRM. One of the big questions every business asks itself is, why is it so hard to maintain their processes? So a number of things we've hit on here is that, we rely on our staff being there all of the time, and we need them to do those the tasks they have and do them correctly, and in the manner that the management have outlined. And sometimes that's quite difficult because individuals take their own read on things and they may interpret instructions differently. Another aspect is that our computer systems don't actually talk to each other most of the time. One of the core selling points of Sage CRM is that it is a great tool for integration. But we've taken it to a new level to address some bottlenecks with some integration issues. And also scaling up your business means hiring more staff. So what Task Manager will do is actually improve that and actually make it easy for those business processes to stay consistent without having to hire excessively more staff or any staff even. So what does it do? It can automate scheduled tasks, for example, some invoicing, reporting, SLA checking, and also system feeds. And it'll help you define how the business is actually run. At the time these days, there are lots of business rules and lots of governance, especially with regulations. By automating certain processes, we ensure that we have a consistent practice across our systems that comply with these particular governance. And you're not relying on individuals to do this. And it also delivers a consistent customer experience in that everyone is treated the same. The Task Manager also is an integration tool. It's great for importing data, so you can schedule a task to import data from external systems. You can also export data, and indeed our own integration with Socialcast using our social CRM product, it in fact is built on top of the Task Manager. So it allows you to connect your business systems and actually get a real 360-degree view of the customer without degrading system performance. So what you can do is, for example, you could schedule a task to import data from external systems into a holding table so that the CRM system isn't necessarily connecting to the core database of, say, an accounting system. It's actually looking at a view that you've created and you've imported using Task Manager. And this really helps system performance. So as your business scales up, you're not degrading the other systems by having these extra hits on the database. The system itself integrates with the Sage CRM workflow. So once you know the Sage CRM workflow, you can use Task Manager. And this is the beauty of it. There's no need to learn a third-party system. There are one or two third-party systems out there that will offer similar functionality, but you do have to learn them as a separate system altogether. Once you know how to use Sage CRM workflow, you can use Task Manager. It sits in natively into that system. You can also do table level scripting and also button groups. So you can publish buttons to the system. If you've seen how we do this with our Crystal Manager tool, a similar thing applies where you can actually publish a button to a screen in CRM via a button group, and you can tell it which task to execute or which process to execute. From a scalability point of view, it allows your business to grow quicker. You're not having to retrain staff with business processes, so you don't need to hire en masse to scale up. The processes are all automated, and we recommend that workshops are used to define the business processes that are to be automated. From a top level point of view, you can see that from within Sage CRM, the end user queues the tasks off to happen, so they're not happening as part of the Sage CRM process, which can cause bottlenecks in the system. You're putting them off to a queue, an actual process queue, and the Task Manager process engine will actually process that queue at a scheduled interval, which can be set, and that can then update CRM, so it could do process intensive tasks that may take 10 minutes, 5 minutes, or a set amount of time. And of course, rather than be a bottleneck holding up the CRM process, the Task Manager process engine can live on a different machine, a different server. It can then process the actual script, what's in the queue, and then it can update CRM. So we have an API built into the process engine that you can actually talk and record data back into CRM. So it's built on the same technology as our accelerator product. Okay, so now we'll start our demo without further ado. Okay, so when you install the Task Manager for Sage CRM, you can go into the administration area, and you'll see that there is a Task Manager button here. And first of all, you can see that we've got a tab group here that has all our Task Manager screens. The first screen is just a license screen. The second screen contains the scripts. This is where you would define your system processes. The Task Manager Tools tab is the area where you can actually generate some of the code and actually test your scripts. The queued actions basically list the actions that are queued in the system and the actions status. And then the Task Manager buttons area allows you to manage any buttons that you have published. So the first thing to look at actually is the Task Manager scripts. We ship a number of scripts with the system. For example, we show you how to create an appointment. And you can see the script code is written in JavaScript. And we have a CRM object, so it's pretty similar to if you're coding the ASP model. We have a CRM object and a CRM, an actual API for coding into CRM. And you can see here we're actually creating a record in CRM, so it is different from the ASP model. We've got some useful APIs like the insert communication task, so it's just a very quick way of inserting the communication data. We have a data object, and the data object allows you to pass in the process queued data. So this is the data that you've set up within the actual process queue. We've got examples that show you how to construct an email and send an email, and indeed use an email template. So you can use a CRM email template and we have an email API here, the get email template merge API. So it gets the template and actually merges the data based on a select statement. We also have an API to insert a document and also do some word merge. So you can create a word merge and do it on the actual on an actual server or another machine. It doesn't necessarily have to be a server. So this script is processed where the process engine actually exists, and it could just be on a desktop machine. It could be on the same machine as the CRM server, which it is in this example. And you can see we've got some APIs here like the get template, get the mail merge data, and we do the word automation. So this is general word automation to actually complete the mail merge and generate a file name and then record it back into CRM. So we've got a nice simple API here to record the mail merge. You can edit those scripts. These scripts really are used as an example. So one of the APIs we're going to use today is the word merge to PDF. So this will actually do a word merge on a document, and it'll actually then convert it, save it as a PDF, and record it as a mail merge into CRM. So this is the particular script we're going to do today. If you wish to edit a script, you can just click on the change button. It brings you into the edit screen, and as you can see, we've got a nice large box here. Each script has a function called main. This is the function that is called when the process engine actually gets the task, and within the process task, the process engine data, you tell it which actual script you wish to run against that particular process task. Okay, so the process engine itself, again, when you install the process engine, it'll actually will install it into the program files, the CRM together, and then the task manager for Sage CRM process application. Within that, we have the task manager application here. The application itself has a URL to connect, so you will need to alter this, chances are, to actually point to your CRM system. So it would be, you would change your server name, for example, here, the name of your CRM path, and of course the system would install the task manager web service. You change the CRM path, and you do connect as a CRM user. So in this case, we're going to use the admin user. Because we actually do connect to CRM natively through our bridge, and again, this is all built, everything we do is built in our Titan development tool. So we do connect natively via that to Sage CRM and not direct to the database. Okay, so let's go into the task manager tools here. What I'm going to do here is, first of all, you can see that you can select the CRM context that the SQL or the table script will be used in. We're going to use the person context in this case. And we're just going to give a name to the script. Or to the actual process, I should say. So I'm going to set this to be the word merge PDF. Now for the purposes of testing this, what I'm going to do is actually use a company ID here. So we'll use this company here. Again, the system should automatically pick up who these are, but again, for the purposes of testing, we set them here in the screen here. So you may also want to set template ID, an email source view, and we have a number of flag fields that can be used for custom instances. Okay, so, and you can see we set the action to be a queued status. So what we'll do at this point is we'll click on the generate workflow SQL, and you can see then it uses the hashtags to generate the SQL and uses the hashtags. If we generate the test SQL, because we've actually put in the actual company details and person, you can see that those details are put there in the system. We can execute that test SQL, and that will actually we'll actually run this particular query and insert the data into our queue. A task manager application, of course, we can click on the update engine. This will refresh the actual data. And you can see then there's the item that we've actually just inserted, and the system will now try and process the script. For the purpose of the demo, we've left this part of the merge visible. If we get an error, of course you can see the system will tell you you've got an error due to a file permission. So at this point, let's go in and change our script. So we were missing the double slashes on the path. Let's try again. In fact, this time let's open a new window. This will make it easier actually when we wish to then publish the data into a workflow. So we select the person again. And we select our sample data here. So we generate a test SQL. Everything looks okay. We'll execute that test SQL. And then back we'll update our engine. Okay, so that looked like it ran there perfectly. You can see the action status is set to be finished, which is good. Let's go into CRM and take a look at the actual person. So I'll switch back in our main CRM window and switch to the regular view. And you can see that this is the letter that we just created. It has an attachment. We could of course have queued up this particular script to also print off the information. So again, you can customize the actual script to do exactly what you wish. So if we wanted to take this example here and put it into workflow, we would just click on the generate workflow SQL. This would change this SQL here, and you can see then it puts in the hashtags because we've set this information. We could also generate table level scripts. And again, this is kind of a starting point really. You can see that it uses gets the actual context information. So in fact, let's select this data here. And we'll go back to CRM. So for the purpose of the demo, we'll put this code into the update record, and we'll get it to queue up this word merge task again. So we'll just click save there. Oops, we gotta change, put in a name. So let's go back and we'll actually look at a different person. Let's look at Sheila Murray. And we'll change some details about Sheila. Click save. Let's go back to our task manager. We'll update the engine. Again, the engine is on a polling interval. Normally its default is 5 minutes. But we can get it to run immediately once we click on the update engine. And for the purpose of demos, or for testing, this is what we would do. So you can see we've actually got two tasks there because we've got the social cast integration also there. So you can see it's doing the word merge task. So that task has been queued up and the process engine is now looking at it. You can of course specify when those particular tasks happen. So you may at the end of the day want to print out a number of letters, and you can schedule the tasks to actually happen at a particular time. And there is a field called the action time that actually does that. So the action date time is in fact the field here, and at the moment we just tell it to work immediately off the default. So you can set that to actually when the actual task, the action should in fact happen. And again, you could set up several tasks that can happen over a period of 2 weeks or any length of time, and you just need to specify what the action time is. And this is how we deliver a consistent experience to the customer. So let's go back into CRM, take a look at Sheila's communications. You can see then there we have our letter that we just created. Likewise within workflow, well, we'll do something different for workflow. We'll use a case, and what we'll do is use a different action. So we'll use the create task. So for workflow, how we integrate workflow is we have to put it into the actual as an SQL statement. So let's test this first of all. So we're going to execute our test SQL. We'll go back to our process engine again. So that create task has been completed. So we'll go back to the company to take a look. And you can see there's the task that we actually created there in the system. To integrate this into workflow then, so we're going to attach this to the global rule. We're going to create a new workflow action. And we're going to execute SQL statements. Let's go back to our task manager screen. We want to generate the workflow SQL. So we get our hashtags inserted there. Copy that data. We're going to paste that in here. Of course, you can customize this SQL statement. You can move it into SQL Server, Query Analyzer, and you can edit this statement to put in whatever data you may need. The tool is really to help you get going with that particular statement. So we'll save that. And we'll actually then activate the workflow. Back in CRM, let's view a particular case. So we're going to reassign. This is our rule. I'm just going to click save. Let's check our process engine has got the task queued. Click on update the engine. Again, we're seeing 2 tasks because we in fact have our social cast integration there also. There's our task there. So let's click on communications. Let's go into the design right, communications. And you can see then there is the actual task that was created. So this is how we can integrate with workflow, and you can see how we deliver tools to make it as easy as possible to do this. Of course, so that's the workflow integration, and we've also shown you the table level script integration. We can also create a custom button in the system. And again, let's go back and actually use our merge again. We're going to click on the create custom button here. This opens a new window. So on our one-click button screen, you can see you can select which button group you wish to have this on. So we're going to we actually create a number of button groups as part of it, and you can add your own button groups in, or you can delete ours. We're going to put it on this button group, the person report button group. The button text we're going to put in as the we're going to call it a Q letter. We'll use the default. This is the actual images we can use. I'm just going to use the add comment one there, and you can see that the SQL has gone in there and it has the hashtags. So again, really we're just helping you actually define how to insert this data, how to insert into that queue using it natively from CRM. You can of course edit this. We're going to just click save here, and it's going to create a button within the actual button group itself. So we're not reinventing things here, we're actually building right on top of the Sage tools. Okay, so let's go into a person then here. And you can see our button is displayed here. So let's test this out then. We're going to queue the letter. So that's been queued up. Now you could of course set a flag on the system here also. So your script, you're not really limited. Let's update our process engine. So the process has completed. And you can see then there's our letter again. Okay, so finally then, to edit those buttons, you can click on the Task Manager buttons area here, and you can see that we've got the buttons here. And you can see here you can edit the actual button itself. finally, we'll go back to our tools just to show you we actually do have a help file with this that documents how to use the system. Just click on it here. This will open a new window with the Task Manager help. You can see everything we've just gone through is explained. We talk about the sample scripts as well. Also the API, so you can see the data object to get the actual data. We've got our CRM API as well. Okay, so you can see that for us, Task Manager is the final cog in the wheel. It really gives you a lot of scope for delivering more to your customers. For Sage partners, it allows you to deliver a more comprehensive solution, less bottlenecks, by queuing off processes and giving you a more scalable solution, making Sage CRM scale even more than it does already. As you can see, it's a very powerful tool. It really is only limited by your imagination. And certainly in workshops, you can now look at the actual processes within an organization and in fact try and see how they can be actually automated. To get a copy of the Task Manager, at the moment you need to contact us. Our contact details are on the screen, and we also have a YouTube channel that you may be even watching this on. We would be delighted to hear from you, and we do provide professional services also, so we can work with you to provide any processes that you may need. I think that's everything. Please don't hesitate to get in touch with us if you require anything or you have any questions. And pricing is available on request. Okay, thank you very much.